It's time to say goodbye. I've persevered and persevered, and I cannot persevere any longer. Enough is enough. It's time to move on. Well guys, I'm not talking about shutting down the YouTube channel, far from it, but it is time to say goodbye to some of the shoes in my rotation. And in this video, I'm going to go through the shoes that I am retiring, saying goodbye to. And I've got to say, putting some of these shoes out to pasture has been a painful exercise, because for some of them, I have really enjoyed running in them, and for others, not so much. Now, the first shoe I'm going to say goodbye to, it's an old version of the New Balance 1080s. It's the version 10. This is a shoe that I was never, ever, ever able to get comfortable in. Didn't matter what distances I ran in this shoe, every time it would give me pressure on the outside here, on both feet. And it just got to the stage where I just couldn't bear it anymore. I don't think I've run in this shoe now for probably close on 12 months. It's time to move on, get this shoe out of the cupboard and replace it with something else. It does disappoint me a little bit, because it was a really nice shoe to run in, but just did not suit my foot. I put 300 kilometers into this shoe, and I probably persevered a lot longer than what I should have. 300 kilometers, really not too bad on the outside. You can see a little bit of scuff in there, just in this sort of fresh foam area where it's a little bit exposed outside with this rubber. Too tight fitting around the heel area and here around the top of the foot as well, and I think that probably contributed to, you know, the pain that I was getting here on the outside of the foot. It's nice and durable, no knock at all on the build quality of the shoe. Now I do know that the later versions of the 1080s do have a little bit of a different design to the upper and also around the heel area, but I think it's a case of once bitten, twice shy with the 1080s. And I'll just move on. The next shoe pretty much fits into the same sort of category as the 1080s, the Asics Evoride, the first iteration. It's just a shoe that has not excited me from the very first day. It's felt firm, just haven't felt comfortable in this shoe at all. The most I took it to was about 10 kilometers, I think, and just left my legs feeling beat up nearly every time I used it. In the end, I was using it just for the warm-ups to the speed sessions, but I've done away with that even now. It's just not a shoe that I have enjoyed one little bit. Again, persevered with it, put it in the cupboard for months, dragged it out, tried it again, and exactly the same. So look, I put 197 kilometers into this shoe, but just did not enjoy probably any one of those 197 kilometers. Look, the outsole, really durable. Even after almost 200 kilometers. It's not even an exciting shoe to put on your foot. Denim colorway, bulky here around the heel area. It's just a heavy shoe. So off to the retirement paddock for the Asics Evoride. Now the best comment from the last video, guys, goes to Kelly. Kelly rode for their recovery. They catch up on all the jobs that they put off leading up to that marathon or goal event. Somehow, I don't think Kelly has a lot of rest after a big event, because being a farmer, I know how hard farmers work, and huge kudos to you, Kelly, to be able to prepare for 50-kilometer events while still running a farm. So I can really relate to your comment, and I'm sure my wife Trish would completely agree with you that I put off a lot of jobs leading up to a goal event. So it's a great tip. You don't have to be idle in a recovery, so catch up on all those jobs that you put off. Not only are you recovering the body, but you're also feeling good about doing all those jobs that you'd probably put off for weeks, months. shoe that I'm sending out to retirement, going back to the New Balance stable. It's the Beacon version 3. Had 2 pairs of these shoes, got to around 550, 600 kilometers in both pairs. But I have to say that around that 350 kilometer range, did start to feel the shoes start to break down. Felt my legs getting a little bit beat up after each run. Probably persevered again, too long in this shoe. And, you know, getting close to 600 kilometers on a pair of shoes, not a lot of wear and tear, as you can see there on the outsole. A little bit up around this area here where some of the exposed foam is, but considering that this shoe has just been used predominantly on the roads, it has stood up pretty well. It's just unfortunate. I think that it broke down, so it's quite firm to try and get any sort of cushion in there at the moment. Build quality, spot on, hardly any sort of marks or anything on the upper. If you just look at the difference too in these two models, the 1080s and the Beacon, so much more room around the heel area and over the top of the foot compared to the 1080s, and I think that's what contributed to the problems that I had in this shoe. Very comfortable, nice ride early on. I won't say it was terrible to run in, but it wasn't as enjoyable as those first 300 kilometers. So out you go, the New Balance Beacon version 3. And the last shoe, and this really does pain me to see the end of this shoe from my shoe rotation, and that is the Asics Novablast. This is the version 2. I've had 3 pairs of the Novablast iterations. I had the Tokyo edition in the first iteration, absolutely loved that shoe, 1,000 kilometers in it. I then had a black pair from the first iteration as well, got to about 1,000 kilometers in that as well. I haven't enjoyed the 2s as much, and I've only got to 720 kilometers this time around. You can probably see there a little bit of wear and tear on that outsole. I just stopped enjoying the runs in it. My legs started to feel a bit beat up after some of the longer runs, and I just felt then it was probably time to maybe not run in this shoe anymore. I know the 3rd version is coming out soon here in Australia. It has been released overseas. I don't know why here in Australia we can't get the shoes released at the same time as Europe and the States, but I'm not sure if I'll try out the Novablast 3. I am looking for a shoe, that workhorse shoe for long runs and that. Maybe I will look at this, maybe I'll look at something else. I've got to say that, what is it, nearly 3,000 kilometers in 3 pairs of these Asics Novablasts, and have enjoyed running in the shoe. It is a tremendous workhorse shoe, great for long runs, plenty of cushion in this shoe, plenty of durability in the outsole. Look at that upper, 700 kilometers in this shoe. First iterations that I had of this shoe, 1,000 kilometers in each, the upper looked just as tidy as this one does. So a really robust shoe, maybe not so much for speed sessions because it is a little bit on the heavy side, but absolutely perfect for those middle and long runs. All right, well, they're the shoes that are going to be disappearing from my shoe rotation. There are a couple others that are getting pretty close to walking off into the sunset. All right guys, so the question for this video, and let me know down in the comments what your response is. What is the trigger for you to start thinking about replacing your running shoes? Is it a distance thing? Is it a time thing? Or is it just, your legs start feeling trashed like mine do, and it's just time to retire those shoes? So guys, in the comments, let me know. If you've made it all the way to this point in the video, really do appreciate you watching, and remember to like, comment, share and subscribe to the channel if you're not already a subscriber. Hope you're all fit, healthy and running well, and until next time guys, run free, run happy, and I'll see you in the next video.